The NBA draft was crazy. So now I'm going to put every single team in a tier list going S through F. And by the way, before you comment, put a shirt on. It is 95 degrees out and I'm already sweating. I'm not putting a shirt on. But don't comment that because it pisses me off. All right, first team is the 76ers. They got VJ Edgecombe at 3, which is probably the second best prospect on the board, but really might be the best because Ace Bailey has not even contacted the Jazz after drafting them, and obviously Ace Bailey didn't want to go to Philly, so it's probably the best option. And then they got Broom at 34, who is a very good player. He probably has like a 24, 25-inch vertical, but he's still good. I'm giving the Sixers an A. They did what they were supposed to do. They could be S, but I want to reserve S for teams that like really exceeded expectations in the draft. The Milwaukee Bucks are an F. By far. There was a report that Giannis is monitoring every single thing that the Bucks do, which is free agency, draft, trades, all that kind of stuff. And they do essentially nothing. They just pick someone at 47 who I don't really know about. To be honest, I don't know much of these second rounders because I only had 3 days to prepare for the draft in between the finals and the draft, which is really weird. But not doing anything impressive. Giannis is looking at everything. Like, honestly, for years now, the Bucks haven't really done much to get Giannis help, and him seeing them do nothing, is gonna make him want to leave even sooner. The Chicago Bulls got Noah Esenge at 12, and then they traded back in the second round for someone. I'm giving it a C. The Bulls clearly need center play, and not only was there a lot of centers that went in the first round, but Derek Queen was right there, who was really talented. And if they wanted a wing, I thought there was better wing options out, like Carter Bryant. And looking back to the previous years, I don't remember the Bulls ever making trades up or down in the draft. I could be wrong, but yeah, with Matas, with Patrick Williams, no, they just kind of stay where they're at, and they need to change something up because they've been mid for too long. So here's a mid C tier. The Cavs made 2 second-round picks. One was Tyrese Proctor, and the other one I don't really know. I'm going to give him a D because I think Proctor is good, but pretty boring draft. The Celtics drafted Hugo Gonzalez at 28 and then traded down in the second round, which I just I don't like trading down in the second round. I like any team that trades up because they're looking for a guy. When you trade down, like let's say you really like a guy who's projected to fall late in the second round. It's a second round pick. You might as well just pick him because if he's gone, then you don't really have a backup. There's no way any team has like 3 or 4 different options in the second round that they're willing to take at pick 55. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Hugo is decent. I'm gonna give him a D. Right now it looks like a grade pretty harsh. I'm gonna give some good grades soon. It's just that these first teams, they were pretty bad. The Clippers, they drafted a center at 30, which is kind of what they need. They need a backup for the future. And then it was kind of a boring draft for them. So I'm gonna give them a C. Like they're not in a dire position to really shake things up. I think they're kind of fine where they're at versus these other teams where they kind of need to do something. The Grizzlies traded 16 to the Blazers for 11. They also added on an extra first round pick in 2 seconds. I'm gonna give them a B. I don't really like the fact that they traded up for a guy like Cedric Howard. I think they should have got like Carter Bryant, but I like the idea of trading up for the guy that you really want. It was only 5 spots. Yes, you gave up a first round pick, but I think it might be worth it in the end. You traded Desmond Bane for a reason. Maybe you think this guy can kind of replicate, not exactly because they don't play like, but kind of help the Grizzlies more in a way. Now my team, the Atlanta Hawks, we traded down from 13 to 23 and got an extra first round pick that could be very valuable. I think there's a chance that, either one or both of the Pelicans and Bucks are in the lottery next season, and it's an unprotected first round pick, so I'm giving them an A. They drafted Austin Newell with the 23rd pick. I'm not giving it an S or anything because I do think we finessed them with the trade. I like Austin Newell, but there's a lot of guys on the Hawks that I think are over him. Like I like Mo Gay right now, but because the fit is so good and he's a good prospect, I'll give it an A, not an S, but pretty good draft. And the Miami Heat get the very first S tier ranking. Capuchonis at pick 20. I don't understand how he fell that low. Also, the Heat kind of need a point guard. He's a great prospect. I never really saw too many concerns with why he fell. Also, the Grizzlies, I just kind of realized they're about to run a really relevant pick and roll system, which they didn't do in like the first 80% of the season last season. And they could have used Capuchonis. So the fact that they traded up for a guy that I don't know how well he fits the Grizzlies culture. I don't know.
The Charlotte Hornets get a B, and it's for the reasoning of I don't like the Mark Williams trade. I really don't, but I do like their picks. I like them drafting Con Knuckle. I do think, besides obviously Ace Bailey, he was the best prospect available, and I don't like Liam McNeely in general. Like before the draft happened, when he was projected to be near the lottery, like pick 17, 18, I didn't like him. I picked 29. That's a decent pick. He really didn't have the most ideal system around him at UConn, and he was going through an injury, and we saw how much potential everyone thought he had before the one college season he had. It's just one season at the end of the day. I still think he has really good potential in the NBA. But then that kind of balances out with the Mark Williams trade. You got like nearly nothing. The first round pick in the future is like the worst pick out of like 4 teams. So that's probably going to be, a last 5 pick in the first round. Utah Jazz got Ace Bailey at 5, even though he didn't want to be in Utah. And then they traded up from 21 to 18 to get Walton Clayton Jr. I'm giving it an A. I understand it looks really bad now, but I think Ace Bailey will eventually, be fine playing for the Jazz. I think it's really awkward in this first week, but eventually, he'll be really good. And then trading up for Walton Clayton Jr., I don't know if he deserves to be like the 18th pick. I thought he was going to be very end of the first round, but you know what? I kind of like the idea. I always do of trading up for your guy. If you really believe in him, then trade in him to make sure that no other team can snag him. Especially because Miami had pick 20, and I mean he played at Miami College.
Sorry about that, my mic died. But yeah, I think 3 or 4 years from now, we'll see it as an A, even though it looks pretty bad right now. The Kings traded a future protected first round pick for pick 24 to select Nick Clifford, and I honestly think it's an A. I mean, once again, I always say trading up for a guy just shows that a franchise really believes in him, and it was a good. I mean, the fact that Nick Clifford was probably projected to be around pick 15, 16, fell to 24, that you trade a first round pick that won't be in the top 16, no matter what, I think that's a win. The New York Knicks pretty much did nothing. They made a second round selection. I'm giving them a D. They're not in a dire position to make a trade or make a certain selection, but come on, it's boring. The Lakers traded up to pick 36 to pick Adam. I think it's Thuro. Am I saying that wrong? I'm giving it a B. Like I said, just trading up. All they used was cash, and I think like a super late first or second round pick. I think it's a good idea. If you see a guy and you go get him, I like it. I'm not going to say, it was an amazing deal or whatever, but I'll give him a B. The Magic selected Jace Richardson at 25 and then traded up to pick 32 for Noah Penda. I'm giving this an A. I mean, Jace Richardson is an amazing prospect and it's going to fit well with Orlando because they need shooting and they need offense, and they just traded Cole Anthony. Yes, they have Desmond Bane, but they still need backup guards. Huge win. And then trading up in the second round to the number 32 pick to get Noah Penda. That's a huge win in my opinion. All the Mavericks did was select Cooper Flag with pick number 1. I mean, they just did what they're supposed to do. I'm giving them an A. The Nets, I'm not even going to name all their selections. They made 5 different ones and then had a second round pick, traded it out. I'm giving them a C. I really want to go D too, but I do like some of the selections. I like Drake Powell. I like Nolan Traore. I like Danny Wolf at pick 27. I think that's incredible value. But it's just that you don't make 5 different picks in the first round. Like, I really wanted them to trade up in this draft, and they didn't. And I think that's just really disappointing. Like, 5 new prospects after they already have a bunch of... In fact, I think I'm going to make a video on this. But yeah, they have like... If they re-sign a couple of their players back that are super valuable, like a Cam Thomas, like there's a couple other ones, they'll have like 19 guys on the roster. You literally have to cut some of them. The Nuggets did literally nothing. That's an F. What are you doing? Like, at some point, dude, are they just expecting that Jokic will want to stay there no matter what they do for the rest of his career? You have to do something to impress these stars or they're going to ask out. Pacers traded up in the second round to select Cam Jones at 38, which I think is a good pick. They made initiative. They really wanted a guy. They went and got him. Huge win. I'm giving them a B. They just kind of did something really good. They didn't make like an amazing selection or an amazing trade, but they did good. B. The Pelicans got Jeremiah Fears at 7, and then they traded up in that previous trade I talked about to get Derek Queen. I'm giving them an A. I know everyone's hating on the trade, and maybe they'll regret it if it ends up being a really good lottery pick. But Derek Queen's a great prospect, and Jeremiah Fears is a great prospect, and you just don't know. Like, they don't really have a good point guard prospect right now on the roster. They have Jordan Hawkins and a bunch of guys, and they don't have a good. Well, they have East Misi, but Derek Queen is not only great offensively, but he could play next to Misi. I think actually he's more of a 4, which kind of concerns me. I would have liked them to trade up for a guy like Malowach. I think he would have fit better. But Derek Queen, I think he's a future star. So this might be the most controversial one besides not giving the Nets an F. But yeah, I'm giving them an A. The Pistons made a second round selection. I'm giving them a D. Come on, be interesting, do something. The Raptors selected Colin Murray Boyles at pick 9. I just think Malowach was right there. He's going to be he would have been a way better fit. I think CMB's a great prospect, but he's not a center, and I think they need good center play. Like, that's not every NBA team does. And is Jakob Poeltl really the guy of the future? He's like in his 30s, while everyone else, maybe Ingram just hit 30 or something, but everyone else is young on the roster. But I don't really get it. I actually think he's closer to a small forward than a center if you actually watch CMB play. And then if he does play center, he's super short for it. But because I think he's still a good prospect, I'm giving them a C. The Rockets did literally nothing because I'm not counting trades from before the draft. So the KD trade doesn't count. But because the KD trade did happen, I'll give them a slight D instead of an F. But they did literally nothing. The Spurs selected Dylan Harper at 2 and then Carter Bryant at 14. I don't really know how he fell that low. I think he's an amazing prospect. I'm giving them an S. I'm not the highest on Dylan Harper, but after seeing what Ace Bailey's been doing in this draft, that kind of shows his character in my opinion. And I mean, I was always kind of an advocate for them to take Ace Bailey at 2, but after seeing this, yeah, Dylan Harper was easily the S tier pick. The Suns did so much in this draft that it's pretty hard to actually summarize it all, but pretty much they traded for Mark Williams. They got Malawach at 10. They traded up for Rasheer Fleming, and then they traded up at pick 41 for Kobe Brea. They made so many moves that, I mean, it has to be an S tier. Like, Malawach is a great fit. Mark Williams, great fit next to Booker. And then they got Rasheer Fleming, who fell to 31 somehow. Kobe Brea is a very good prospect. I mean, I'm so impressed by the Suns because all they've been doing is bad deals these last couple years. But now, this might have been the best move they've ever made. The Timberwolves drafted 2 centers, Behringer at 17, and then they got Rocco at 45. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of people trading down in the second round, but the fact that they got Rocco, who I think is he's a good prospect for being pick 45. Like, I think he does have potential, but I wouldn't pick him in the first round or anything. And then Behringer, I think, has a lot of potential. They eventually want to replace Gobert because not only is Gobert getting older, but he is expensive. B tier. The Thunder got Sorber at 15. They traded out of pick 24 and got a future protected first, and then got someone in the second round. Good, dude. They don't need more players. I'm actually really glad that they just traded for a future first, because maybe they can use that future first, even though it's protected, to go get an actual asset. I kind of wanted them, to make a big trade, get some Cam Johnson, get some sort of type of player. But it was a solid draft. I'm giving them a B. They did need a center. The Portland Trailblazers selected Hansen Yang at pick 16. I understand they got a first round pick back for it, but I don't, he was going to fall. He was going to fall. I'm giving them a D. I don't like it. The Warriors traded down in the second round. I don't like that. I'm giving them a D. They did nothing else. What are they doing, man? And then the Wizards get an A. I mean, selecting Trey Johnson at 6, who's a very good prospect. They got Will Riley. I love Will Riley. And they were able to trade down for him, get, a couple second round picks. Yeah, 43 and 2 second round picks. A. I mean, that's a win. I think the Wizards are, not only have they been really good, selecting Bob Carrington, Keyshawn George, Sar last year. Now they go get Will Riley and Trey Johnson. They're killing it. So this is the final ranking. What do you guys think? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What did I, grade your team? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to see more NBA content. Please like this video, and I'm never putting a shirt on. Peace.